Hey dear lovebirds. So today we're going to be talking about the key questions you should ask your partner before you say I do. Planning on getting married. Join me as I share the important questions, the important money questions you need to ask your spouse. You need to ask your partner before you say I do. Let's dive in. Good day and welcome back to my channel. My name is Juliet, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the money questions you should ask your partner before you say I do. I know this is not a very interesting topic to talk about before getting married, but trust me, it's crucial. You don't hit the rocks at the early stages of your marriage. So if you're planning on getting married soon, you should always discuss these money questions with your partner before saying I do, because they are important. I know talking about finances or your financial life before marriage, it's not crucial. Some people don't deem it important, but I'm here to tell you today that it's a very important topic that every couple, every spouse must talk about before they say I do on the altar. One of the important questions you should ask your partner before saying I do is, what is your financial background? You need to understand each other's financial background. For instance, some people come from a background or a family that they do not save, they do not invest, maybe they just spend any money that comes in, they could use it and buy something. And the other person might be that plans before maybe making such big expenses. You need to ask your partner questions. People need to discuss your financial background. What have you been doing before now? What did you grow up doing? What did you grow up experiencing? Because someone that comes from a background that focuses more on investment is likely to keep investing than someone that comes from a background that just spends at anything that comes in, you spend it immediately and wait or hope for something else to come in. So you need to discuss crucially about your financial background and what you're doing right now, what you experience, what you've been doing before taking the next step. You need to discuss what your financial goals are, because to some people it's very crucial and it's very important that they own properties, they own cars, they invest in assets, while to some other people they do not believe much in owning. They prefer to rent properties. Even in their 50s, they just prefer to keep renting. They don't want to think about buying, they don't want to think about owning. While some people in their 20s, they're really thinking, I want to own a property by the time I'm 30. So you need to discuss what are your financial goals. What do you want to spend more on? What do you want to invest in? What do you want to leave for retirement? What are your retirement plans? These are questions that are very, very important. You don't want to hit the rocks during your marriage. Another important question you need to ask is, how do you handle debts? Because this is a very important issue. Some people have very huge debts and they do not have plans of paying back those debts. They just keep accumulating. They go on, take another credit card, they have maybe student loans. Some people even borrow money to just run their daily expenses. So you need to ask your partner, what's your debt ratio like? What are your plans? How much debts are you in? How do you intend to pay them? You need to ask those kind of questions so you don't enter into debt. And some people can easily take loans. Maybe if they want to buy something, they want to buy a car, if they'll just take loan. If they want to buy a property, they take loan. If they want to pay for something, they take loans. While some people are not people that love to take loan, they prefer to save up to that amount and purchase that. And if they don't have it, they prefer to remain where they are until they get enough money to purchase that. You need to ask such question. What kind of person are you? Okay, the loans you have, the loans you've taken, how do you intend to repay them? Do you have anything, or do you have any source that money is going to come in through? Do you have future plans to start anything that can possibly yield income? I'm not saying that, oh, you should just focus on monetary aspect. This is just one of the things you need to ask your partner. Of course, you talk about other things in the relationship, but finances are also very important in every relationship. So you need to ask. Some people do not like living in debt. They do not like debt. So you need to ask your partner these questions. They are very important. It's not bad to take debt. Sometimes you need to take loans to buy or pay for some particular things. But how do you intend to pay? Are you going to pay, or do you just keep accumulating your debts? You just keep taking loans even when they are not necessary, even when they are not essential, or when they are not crucial. So this is part of the questions you need to ask your partner. Another thing you need to ask, if you've not observed it, but I believe you can observe this in the course of your relationship, is, what are your spending habits? Some people have extremely bad spending habits. Like, any money that comes in must go out, whether they need it. In fact, human wants are unlimited, but your needs, you can actually curtail your need. So some people, all their wants must be satisfied, no matter how much is in their account. You can even take loans to satisfy their wants. So what are your spending habits? What do you spend on? Sometimes when you are in a relationship with someone, you can notice the kind of things they spend on. Some people spend on necessities, just mostly necessities. Some people spend on necessities and things that are not necessary, while some people have the capacity to spend on luxury. So you need to ask, what are your spending habits? Do you just spend randomly, or are you kind of person that plan before you spend? So depending on what your source of income, depending on how much comes in, what is the ratio you spend on? So this is a very, very important question, because it helps both partners, or if you're not more than two people, to be in sync with each other. You would understand your spending habits, and then you would have checks and balances on each other. You also need to ask, what are your financial obligations? This is like very important. Because some people have lots of financial obligation. It can come from family, it can come from friends, it can come from pledges they've made before. So maybe sometimes when they earn, or if they work 9 to 5, when their salary comes in, they already have things that they are supposed to do, or they were meant to do. Some people are the ones training their siblings in school, or they are still training themselves in school, or there's a long-term debt in the family that they need to repay. So you need to understand the financial obligation. This will help you plan and cut your clothes according to your clothes. So you don't just say, oh, my partner is earning this, we can do this. No, he's earning that, but he has financial obligation. Some of that money, is a chunk of that money, is actually going to something else. It will help you plan your family, and there will be no room for conflict in the financial aspects. Another very important question we need to talk about is, what do you think about joint account? What do you think about, or separate account? Which do you prefer? Are we going to run a joint account? Are we going to run separate accounts? If we are running a joint account, how are we going to manage it? Finances are very, very important, because that's what run homes, that's what run families. So you need to ask yourself, are we going to be pulling funds together that will run the family in a joint account? Who is going to be providing? Is the man going to be doing all the providing? Is the woman going to be doing the providing? Or you're going to pull funds together? If you're pulling funds together, are you going to have a joint account where you both have access to the funds in such account? So this is very, very important. Some people prefer to run a joint account where they just keep money, and they know that that money is for the family expenses for the month. They have other money maybe in their separate accounts that they use for other things. Some people tend to run both type of account. They will have a joint account, they will have separate accounts for all their expenses. This is a very crucial topic to discuss before saying yes or before saying I do to your partner. Another question to ask is, what is your attitude towards financial planning? As we've been saying since the beginning of this video, it's not everyone that have the mindset to plan things financially. Oh, let's say you plan to buy a house in 10 years, in 5 years, you plan to buy a car in 2 years. So not everyone is cut off for that. So you need to discuss extensively. Do you plan financially before you take big financial commitments? You need to ask yourself those kind of questions. If yes, is it something that we can do together, that we can do as a partner, or something we're going to do separately? So these questions are very, very crucial, especially since you're going to be living as a family. You're going to be sharing all these assets as a family, such as properties, houses. Another question to ask is, how would you handle family emergencies? There are some households that they keep funds, that they keep a certain amount of money. Let's say they keep 10% or 20% of their income monthly or annually or quarterly, whichever way they decide to do it, for family emergencies, in case something comes up. Maybe someone is sick, or someone needs a phone, someone needs a car urgently, so they can just use money from that pool fund to finance it, or to finance such issue. While there are some, they don't have any emergency funds, they don't have anything like that. So in terms of emergency, they would have to look for loans. They can take loans from friends, from families, or from the bank, depending on how they are able to finance such emergencies. So you should ask yourself those kind of questions, especially when there's no insurance. You don't have anything like health insurance, you don't have pension. So you should discuss what your financial responsibilities are in terms of emergencies. And it's very, very important that you plan for your old age, you plan for your future. So I know there are some companies, or there are some organizations that contribute towards your pension. So if you're in that kind of organization, better for you. But if you're not, you should be able to invest in long-term assets, like maybe real estate. You can buy a land, you can build properties that will be able to sustain you when you're already getting to your retirement age, so that when you're at that particular age, you don't become a liability to other people. So this is a very important thing you need to discuss with your partner before you say I do. So you will not be the kind of person that, oh, you have your finances all fixed together and your partner doesn't have anything in plan and is just waiting for you to maybe make the plans or make the decisions. We've come to the end of this video. I hope I was able to give you some ideas of the kind of financial and money questions you should discuss with your partner before you walk down the aisle, before you say I do, before you pop the questions. I hope this video was helpful to you, and I hope there's something you learned. If you're already married or plan to say I do, you can comment on some financial questions that are very important to ask your partner. What kind of financial questions did you ask your partner before you said yes, before you said I do? Let's learn from you also. Thank you for watching. Kindly like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I'll see you in my next video.